But anyways, so let's see. I'll let you guys say hi to YouTube. Yep, there's YouTube right there. No viewers yet. That's how it is. That's how it be. Got a smaller audience over on YouTube. And you guys are killing it over here on Instagram. But let's talk about drum corps a little bit. So somebody asked, Jay Geldy asked, what is my definition of drum corps? Now, interestingly enough, hey Josh, interestingly enough, I've had a few comments over here on YouTube. Hey YouTube, I'm actually streaming. I'm also streaming here, let's see, on Instagram on my iPad. So I like to do dual stream. Sometimes I stream, come on, there we go. Sometimes I stream on Facebook, and sometimes I I'll stream on Instagram, but usually I try to stream at least 2 places at the same time. So we've got Instagram over here and YouTube right here. And so, but I've got my keyboard, my little controller, so you guys know that I'm actually playing here. Let's get a little piano. Volume. Name that chord. Nice chord. Okay, so everybody asks me all the time, which drum corps did I march? I didn't march drum corps. It's one of the biggest regrets I have in my life. But I have a, thanks Ty Angel, but I do have a bunch of friends that are connected to drum corps that marched corps. And I am a 4-year high school marching band guy and a 4-year college marching band guy. So my channels are really centered around and based upon marching band for sure. And so just to get back to the thing that I first started talking about, what's the definition of drum corps? That's what somebody asked. And I always think of, and maybe it's because I'm only a marching band kid, if you will, but I think that marching band is marching band. We all know what marching band is. And drum corps is like the elite. Either need to get this higher or turn it. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just have to sit back a little bit. But so drum corps can be marching band because of simple words and definitions. So the definition of a marching band is a band that marches, and a band, the definition of the word band is just a group of people that do the same thing, that are gathered around a common cause or organization or activity. And so drum corps is a marching band, a drum corps is a marching band, but a marching band is not a drum corps. So drum corps is shortened, it is the shortened version of the phrase drum and bugle corps. And one could make the argument that today's drum corps definitely are different than the traditional drum and bugle corps, because the old traditional drum and bugle corps only used bugles. And don't be mistaken and think of only a soprano bugle, but think of all of the voices: soprano, alto, tenor, and contra, which would be bass. Those are all bugles. The bugle is the shape of the instrument, not the actual instrument. So there's different types of bugles, just like there's, different types of saxophones, if you will. But anyway, so my favorite drum corps is the one that puts on a great show. So in any given season, that could be 5, it could be 1, it could be 22, it could be 30, if you include open class. And so this season, because I'm out in California, I've gotten to see a little bit more drum corps early in the season. Where I live in Georgia is a long drive to actually get to anywhere that has decent shows. And before we moved out here on this long, year-long extended working vacation, I was actually working in the church world. And so It's hard to travel when you're on staff at a church, because not only do you have office hours during the week, but you also have weekend hours that you have to put in for the services and stuff. But last week I got to go to the Mid-Cal Champions Showcase, which was in Clovis. That was almost a week ago on Friday night. It was awesome. I saw a few of what I would think this year are my favorite corps. And again, like I said, that changes from year to year. So I think the Academy probably has my most favorite show theme out of all of the shows by a hair. And then I think Pacific Crest has a show theme that really resonates with where my family and what we're doing, what our life is, kind of that golden state of mind. So I really like Pacific Crest. And then a week ago, Saturday, I got to go to the Blue Devils Family Day, and was there for hours upon hours watching them warm up and do their big circles, their brass circles, percussion warm-ups and everything. And then, of course, we got to see the show on the field, the C Corps, the B Corps, and the A Corps. And so I feel like, unlike years before where I've not really had any deep personal connection to anything that a specific drum corps is doing, this year I kind of like got in. I feel like I got in early on the ground floor and got some behind the scenes look at what Blue Devils were doing. And so I think I'm pulling for Blue Devils this year. It's not because they're my favorite. I like what they're doing with Metamorph. But that being said, you can see this is the only drum corps hat that I have out here in California. So I'm representing Carolina Crown on my head today. I figured I was making a marching band video today. I would also wear something drum corps related. I have a few other marching band related items that are, well, no hats, and I like to wear hats. And so right now I'm just wearing a California shirt, Yosemite. If you're ever in California, you got to go to Yosemite. It's the world's most beautiful place, at least one of them. But anyways, so it's been a while since I've played. I feel like I'm not set up good here. But I'm just going to play some. You guys can just chill out and listen. If you got any questions, I'll look up and maybe try to answer them. But we're going in C minor now. Let's do an F minor. 7. There's the 9 in there too. Back to that. A C minor 9 with a 7, or a C minor 7 with a 9. That's the 9. Let's see, E flat, 2, or E flat add 9. A flat major 7. We'll kind of walk it up to B flat, suspended. Yeah. Back to the C minor, 9. Hey Trenton, I did march at Wayne County High School in Jessup. I actually graduated the year before Beth Taylor came. So a man named George Jones was my band director for my senior year, because I only went there for 1 year. But I do know Beth, and a lot of my good friends who were a year or two younger than me had Beth Taylor as their band director. did play jazz band. I'm a trumpet player. I'm not really a piano player, so there is hope for all you guys that are wind players. Grab you a chord sheet, get on YouTube, find some tutorials, and learn how to play. I did it in an age where there was no such thing as YouTube tutorials, and taught myself how to play the piano, so it's possible. Oh yeah, there it is, G7. So I really am playing. No, I don't have a soundtrack going on. Here's the keyboard. Sometimes people get on Instagram or Facebook, they sit like they're actually playing, and they play like a computer or something, you know, in the background. Look at me. But I'm actually playing. These guys over here on YouTube can actually see my hands. You can't see the keyboard. You can see this keyboard, but you can't see this keyboard. But anyways, that was kind of dark, melancholy. Let's do something a little bit more major. So we'll go to G major. Scales are your friend. Is the keyboard a synthesizer or a MIDI controller? It's just a MIDI controller. It's a little M audio. I don't even remember. Oh, it's an Oxygen 49. I'm running it through GarageBand on the computer behind me. It's only 49 keys, which is limiting, but it's got that octave bump, so I can. So I didn't move my hand. I just hit the octave button a couple of times there. The speaker I'm playing through is about this big, so it distorts when I get up here in the top range, but anyways. I have fun. I make a lot of music. Well, I haven't been recently since we moved to this new place in Sonoma, California. It's been about a month and a half. I've not pulled out the keyboard too much. Have I heard of the song War of the Worlds? Possibly. It's not ringing any bells off the top of my head. So today I was gonna actually record some video, but I thought I've been really lame at following my streaming schedule, which is supposed to be every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern. So I thought, you know, it's been a while since I pulled out the little keyboard, played. So that's what I'm doing. YouTube, hey, over there, I see that I've got a few viewers. So right now I'm just freestyling on the piano a little bit. Probably won't blow your mind or anything. Some people like to listen to it just to chill. Whenever I get back home to Georgia, I'm going to set up a little bit better. Sounds like a cool show, Josh. Rhonda over on YouTube. Sadazzle89, yes, I have heard. I start my college journey August 16th, and in 4 years I'm a band director. Awesome, Giovanni. I just modulated to a different key. I did. And these keys are smaller on my keyboard than a regular piano. I'm used to playing an actual full-size piano. So my fingers feel a little fat, even though I have smaller hands. I don't have piano player hands. They're not very big. They're weightlifting hands. Ariana on Instagram says, what do you think of BD's show? I love the Blue Devils show this year. I just love it. I really do. And again, I was just mentioning earlier that I got to go see their Family Day and see their preview show before their first competition, which was about a week before they put their show on the field with uniforms. They marched it. The drill was nice. They had about probably a minute left of the show to still put on the field, so we didn't see the complete show, but we saw enough to be like, wow, good show. Now, I will say this too. Thursday night, a week ago, I went to the theater and saw the DCI tour premiere, and that was a blast. I wish I could catch every single show that way, at least the ones that aren't here live. That would be pretty sweet, but it would get pretty expensive. They need to lower the price to like movie ticket pricing. I think it was $17 or so that it cost for me to get in, which is fine. You know, I didn't mind doing it. But I would love, I'm kind of one of those people, you guys probably are too. I'm one of those people who wishes that there was a better option for, hold on just a second, guys. Let me finish this thought. I wish there was a better option for streaming or for broadcasting. Like a long time ago, I believe that public broadcasting used to carry a lot of drum corps. And I just wish that that was an option again, you know, because what I found where I'm at in Georgia to get to a show, you know, I've got to drive a little ways. And then being out here this last year in California and this season getting to go to the Family Day for Blue Devils and then the Clovis show, which was sweet. In Clovis there was Mandarins, Pacific Crest, the Academy, Blue Knights. I want to say it was either Blue Knights or Blue Stars. It was Blue Knights because the show was and that was a great show too. And who else did we see Friday? I get Thursday and Friday mixed up. Phantom Regiment was there. Of course, Blue Devils was there. It's like right in their backyard or almost. Was Santa Clara Vanguard there too? In Clovis? Probably. Yes, they were there as well. So it was 7 that I got to see. It was pretty sweet. But I wish there was a way that, you know, you could just tune in on, you know, the ESPN, the Ocho, and catch those movies. But let's see. So, Alan Hakeem, I have my crown hat on right now. Awesome. This was probably I actually ordered, well, I got the right hat, but I thought I ordered the one that has the little crown logo just over here. Just a black hat with just the crown without the word. But this came in, and I went back and looked at my order, and sure enough, I ordered this specific one. So I'm a flat bill kind of a guy. I've worn flat bills since like the 90s. I would even say the early 90s, back when I was in middle school. I am a kid that loves kind of that hip-hop fashion, comfortable, baggy, and jazz. Ariana says, we're talking about the Blue Devil show real quick. What was my favorite part, and what do you think they could improve on? My favorite part of the Blue Devil show has to be, as a trumpet player, when the mellophone section, the whole section, puts down their instruments, picks up trumpets, and combines with the regular trumpet section to create a mega trumpet section, and they do a trumpet feature. I think that's probably my favorite part. I don't think there's nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong when you double the size of your trumpet section on the field, right? Absolutely nothing can go wrong. Only good can come from that. And what do you think they could improve on? That's really hard. It's like some Blue Coats, Blue Devils, and maybe Carolina Crown right now are my top three that, seeing their first run of their show, I was blown away. I was just really blown away for different reasons and for different parts of the show. And so definitely trying to think, what could the Blue Devils improve on? I think with everything, it's just consistency. You know, if you've been paying attention to the scores the last week and a half, or the last week, yeah, because it's only been a week since we kicked off the tour. Tomorrow will be a week. But if you watch the scores, they've been creeping up. You know, they started around 72. Now they're up in around 74 for Blue Coats. You know, Blue Devils kind of the same thing, right around that 72-point mark. Crown right around 70, 71. But some of the core that started off with 68s and 69s, they're jumping up into the 70, over 70 mark. I think the last scores that we had last night, which is kind of how I do my rankings. I know they're not official, but I like to rank drum corps based on whatever their most current score is. And so I know it'll fluctuate a little bit, maybe up and down by tenths of a point here and there, maybe hundredths of a point, if you will. But so what I've got now, actually I've got it closed, but let me pull it up. But what I think I have now is 6 or 7 core now are over the 70-point mark, and so that's pretty exciting. I like to see that. I won't ramble on and on and on, but let's see. Omar says, do you believe Crown has grown a distinctive identity over the past few years since 2013? I'll say it like this. I think Carolina Crown is kind of like a teenager, kind of spreading their wings a little bit here and there, and definitely in the same way that Blue Coats and well, definitely Blue Coats for sure. I think Blue Coats is probably, everybody knows, Blue Coats is definitely the tip of the spear, the point of the spear, especially after last year, of this kind of new drum corps. Okay, I'm going to put this on in the background. The Cavaliers are live now. I've got a brass warm-up on Facebook Live. So I'm not going to show it, but we'll just have it in the background, so we'll see what they're got doing. The Cavaliers are live now. Drums on the Ohio, so there must be a show tonight on the Ohio River. But so I don't know if that really answered your question, Omar. I think the answer is yes for almost all of drum corps, all of DCI is kind of going through this in the last, I would say 5 years for sure, but definitely the last 3, 4 years, 2, 3, 4 years, kind of going through this growing pains. And you can tell that it's a shift because of the divide that you see in comment sections. Whenever I talk about drum corps, whenever I read about drum corps, there's always this divide. And on one side of the divide, you've got this old school, like, don't change anything, wear my old uniforms, where are the bugles, you know. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got this new school of, you know what, use a kazoo for all I care, I just want to see a great entertaining show. wear a jumpsuit that looks like a Teletubby. It doesn't matter to me. Just melt my face off. And I think we're in this in-between period where we've got this overlap of people that just don't really know what to do with it. And but I'm kind of in the second camp. Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of in the second camp. I really don't care what they look like, to a degree. I mean, it would look odd if they all came out in Speedos. But I like the old traditional uniforms. I love to see a corps when they come out looking sharp with straight lines and they march with precision. You can just tell. But I also love the new school too, because it's entertaining. And if drum corps is not entertaining, then what's the point, you know? So Blind Marcher says, have you heard of the corps called the Columbus Saints? If so, what do you think of the corps? Now, they're not on my radar that much, and I need to fix that, because let me just look them up right here just to see. There we go. Drum Corps International Sound Sport Gold Medal. Sound Sport. Most of my attention, because I'm more of a marching band guy, most of my attention goes to the world class. So that kind of is what it is. Second place at WGI Regionals. We're the Saints. Pretty sweet. If I had time, that's my thing. You guys over here on Instagram kind of see what happens on Instagram, and you guys over here on YouTube, you know, especially in the last 3 or 4 weeks, you know, I've been doing drum corps videos because it's drum corps season. When the YouTube channel, for those of you on Instagram that may not know what I'm talking about, the YouTube channel is fairly new. I've had it for about 1.5 years, and I did some kind of fun for me Minecraft videos where I did some playthroughs and I talked about marching band the whole time. So it's kind of Minecraft meets marching band, but I kind of got to realize that it took a little bit of time, took a lot more time than I wanted to put into making YouTube videos. And so I thought, if I'm going to do a YouTube channel, what am I going to talk about? And so about a month ago, I was like, well, heck, you know, it's not really marching season in high school and college right now, but it is drum corps season. So I started doing drum corps videos, and I think I've got probably, I don't know, 10, 15 videos up now. And like I said, we went from, appreciate it YouTube, you guys on YouTube that may be watching this video, and Instagram if you're interested, check it out. But we went from about 180 followers just from about 1.5 years ago to, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, jumped up to almost 600 followers on, or subscribers is what you call them, on YouTube. But I'm like, hey, people like to watch drum corps videos. And so I thought, well, if they like to watch drum corps videos, I bet they'll like to watch marching band videos. And so what I'm going to be doing as we move into the fall, I'm actually going to try to cover BOA and the big band organizations. Maybe do some Texas UIL as well too. Marching band is really big in Texas, but we'll definitely be talking about some marching band related topics for sure. We've got Cavaliers in the background doing a brass warm-up. Ariana says, men are from Mars. Cavaliers, did you enjoy their show? I personally didn't like it that much. Same with Jagged. Your thoughts? I really, really want to love the Cavaliers show. I love the music. I love their repertoire selection. They're kind of warming up with it right now in the background. Thus spake Zarathustra, or is it also spake thus Zarathustra? Thus also spraka Zarathustra. But anyways, and then Jagged Line, I think I like it. I think I really like their show. I've seen it twice now, once on the opening night, and then I caught a YouTube video of it, and I think I really like it. Lindy, I'm not watching a show on Facebook right now. The Cavaliers are doing a brass warm-up, so I don't know I don't know where they are. I haven't checked in. I'll probably do an update video on the Monday through Wednesday shows tomorrow for YouTube. But they're somewhere in Ohio. Maybe I can check it out. Why is my... I'm just looking at the... No, that's a negative on Crown Beat. I'm actually in California right now, so no way that I can get to... We're actually moving back to Georgia at the end of July, but just not in time to go see that in South Carolina there. So, let's see. Wyoming. Farmer. Pretty sure... Okay, Lindy. Farmer says... My nose is itching, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be all weird, but... Farmer54 says, what drum corps do you recommend for people in color guard? All of them. I will say this. I think the color guard in drum corps is just... I mean, it's elite. As we say in the gaming community, leet. L-E-E-T. It's just leet. But they are phenomenal. All of these drum corps just have great color guard. I think my personal favorite so far that I've seen, and I do think it is because it kind of lines up with my favorite show theme so far of the year, is the Academies by a hair. And so I love what they do with their color guard. And so that's a fun one to watch. Their show is whimsical and light and amusing. It's not real dark and serious like Phantom. It's not, real... I mean, even how to describe this, but Blue Coats and Blue Devils, you're just going to, and Crown even, you're going to get your face melted off with a wall of brass sound. The Academy has a great sound, but they're entertaining in a way that's fun as opposed to like competitive. I don't know how to describe it, but so I love what I'm seeing from the Academy, and that's who I would recommend somebody for color guard, because I like what they do. They have 2 separate uniforms. They have a good time. Lindy, we've talked about the Blue Coats before. They kind of rocked the world last year, and this year it feels like the Blue Coats, they're putting on a great show, but it feels like it's just a little bit more of the same from last year, or the same as last year. So, but to draw a positive out of that, you could say that the Blue Coats are just moving in the same line that they established last year, which is good. So let's see, J Marmol. Oh, it's either J Marmo 14 or J Marmol 4. Says, hi to everyone from Vegas Drum and Bugle Corps from San Pedro Sula, Honduras. Awesome. I love that there's marching band and drum corps all around the world. A lot of times, us folks here in America, we don't realize that it is a worldwide thing, but awesome. Marching season is going to be a blast. I'm going to be moving right in the middle of the time that I would normally be going to band camps. I have a couple of band director buddies that I like to go visit up in the Atlanta area for sure, and I'm not going to be able to do that this year, but I'm going to try to just go up for some competitions and some halftime shows during football games. So I definitely want to do that. And listen, if you're watching, if you're a band kid or a band director, instructor, and you want to give marching band is awesome a little inside scoop on what's going on in your life, your band world, don't ever hesitate to shoot me an email at rollsteppin@gmail.com or hit me up on, you can send me a private message on Facebook, Instagram, over here on Google. You can email or comment on a video or whatever. But one of the things that I would love marching band is awesome to be able to do is to cover as much marching band as possible. And it's kind of a hard thing because think about how many high schools that have marching bands there are in the United States alone. And there's no possible way that I can be at every halftime show, every football game, or every band competition or parade. But when I was in high school, did you march in BOA? That's a great question. So over here on Instagram, B. Dilbert says, when I was in high school, did I march in BOA? To the best of my knowledge, no, I did not. I did march 4 different high school marching bands. You heard that correctly, 4 marching bands. I went to 4 different high schools. I'll go through this real quick. 1 in Virginia, 1 in Florida, and 2 in Georgia. So the 2 in Georgia were in 2 separate towns, and that was definitely an experience. I think it made me a hey Jacob from Houston over on YouTube. I definitely think that it made me a well-rounded person. It caused a little bit of stress and anxiety, of course, and you can probably read a little bit of that into the main character of the fiction novel that I wrote and released last June, called Because. My main character is a 16-year-old trumpet player who is very anxious and very melancholy and super introverted. The older I've gotten, especially, the more I think that I have grown into or embraced my own introverted personality. So Mark Cooley says, what instruments do you play? Well, I play piano. I have it turned down. That didn't really work out very well. All right, let me... All right, so there it is. Obviously, you can't hear it unless I turn it up. So I play keys. Yep. I played trumpet. That is my primary instrument. That took me from the 4th grade all the way through college and then up into my golden age of 40. I'm 40 years old now, just turned 40 a couple months ago. So real quick, the marching band channel, the YouTube channel is Marching Band is Awesome. So if you search for Marching Band is Awesome over on YouTube, it'll pop up. Hey YouTube. So you guys will have a little streaming inception there. Hey, so we got a few viewers over on YouTube, and let's see. Oh, there I am. Good questions coming in from Instagram. Let's see, what was the biggest band you performed with? That's a great question. Actually, let me answer this other question. I play trumpet. I can toot around on most of the brass instruments. I'm not really a woodwind guy, although I love bari sax, and I love bassoon and bass clarinet. Go figure. So if I ever had to pick up an instrument to play just that was a reed woodwind instrument, it would be one of those couple. I also love bassoon too, so go figure. Hey Abigail, how's it going? Good to see you over on YouTube. If you're wondering, I'm actually streaming here to YouTube and over here to Instagram. I've kind of got two live streams going on at the same time. Rhonda representing that bass clarinet on YouTube. Ariana, the biggest band that I performed with in high school was my freshman year in Denby. Denby High School, the Denby Patriots in Newport News, Virginia. We marched over 300. So that's fairly big. I know there are some other... oh, hey, Abigail, thanks. So Abigail just migrated from Instagram over to YouTube. She was the one who asked what was the channel name. Excellent. So good to see you over here on YouTube. The other bands that I marched, the other 3 bands that I marched were contrabass clarinet, awesome, Taco in the house. The other bands I marched were, just fairly normal sized, maybe 100, 120, maybe 150. I don't remember the exact numbers each year, but in college, Georgia Southern. Lindy, I don't know if you're still watching. It's cool if you're not, but I don't remember what we marched in my day. I think, Lindy, you marched more than one time. I mean, yeah. Lindy's my friend that hops on Instagram occasionally. We went to school together, but he was one of those guys who did some school and then did some other stuff and then came back and did some more school, I think, or did the military and came back and did school. I don't know. But anyways, so my favorite instrument is probably the oboe to listen to. Cello and oboe, I would put those two, but my favorite instrument to play is probably the piano. Mark Cooley says, what college did you attend? Georgia Southern University. I know for sure that Georgia Southern University is not a HBCU, but I love HBCU. I love getting, on Instagram, I love getting the little notifications in my live stories up top that SU, the Human Jukebox, they do a lot of stuff, and they're one of my favorite HBCU marching bands. How long has the account been around? Ollie Oxenfree, I don't know if you mean this account on Instagram. The Instagram account's been around a couple years. Really got going in the middle of 2015. If you mean the YouTube channel, it's been around about the same amount of time, but just kicked off, really kind of got re-energized about a month and a half ago and started making some drum corps video. And so I'm committed to growing the YouTube channel with lots of drum corps videos during the summer, and then lots of band related stuff in the marching season, and then of course in the winter I guess we could do WGI, and then yeah, so hopefully we'll have a year-round marching / I could even do concert stuff too, but marching band is awesome. We don't discriminate against concert band, but we typically move more into the marching side of stuff. Thoughts on Santa Clara Vanguard this year? Let's see, I've watched a whole lot, I've written a whole lot, I've done a whole lot of videos. Santa Clara Vanguard is Ouroboros, or Ouroboros, depending on where you're from, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that. I want to make sure I have the right corps. I've only seen them once. Yeah. Have to go back and consult my notes. Over on Marching Band is awesome. I need to update it a little bit, but I have a current corps show themes page where I have each show. But I think it was either this morning or yesterday, I watched a video on Facebook where the costume designer or uniform designer talked about the Vanguard's new uniform with the snake and everything. And yeah, okay. So when I saw the show live on, Jacob, thanks a lot, I'll check that out. When I saw the Santa Clara Vanguard show, I was really, okay, let me do it this way. Like, their sound was great. Big wall of sound, great brass, great percussion. The color guard was really impressive. I love their props and the rolling platforms that they turn on their side and they roll and move around, and the horn player popped up out of, I mean, it's really kind of cool. The actual music is not really my forte. It's not really my cup of tea. So, and I'm also kind of one of those guys who looks at the uniforms or the costumes, if you will, and in this particular case, I kind of like the old better than the new. But I think the new is really cool. So I'm not trying to be like both sides of the coin, but it's, it's definitely subjective and preference driven. So anyways, I think they've got a great show, and I'm excited to see them scoring up at the 70 and over the 70. I think they may have even popped up in the 71.5 range this last show that they put on. I haven't studied the scores the last night or two, so. Alan, you're welcome. Emily on Instagram says, favorite show theme you performed in? Probably my most favorite would be college. I don't remember which year I was, but we did a Beatles show. I just love the Beatles, and I think out of all the shows that I ever played, that was probably my favorite. We played like Hard Day's Night, Eleanor Rigby, well, those are the two that really stood up. What were your thoughts when Colin McNutt left the Cadets for the Boston Crusaders? I don't get into, and I said this a little bit earlier, I'm a marching band guy. I love drum corps, but I'm not like a super like inside guy. So things like that, while they probably cause a lot of stir and they you know, rock the boat, so to speak, things like that don't really bother me, or I don't really politics, if you will. You know, I just want to see a great show. I want to be entertained. I want to hear good music. And so I honestly, I don't know what I think about that. So that's kind of one of those things that I think if you're a fan of that particular corps or those two corps that are involved, you're probably like, you know, depending on which side of the giving and taking you are. But so anyways, that probably displays my what I would call amateur status as far as drum corps goes. I will admittedly say, and with no shame at all, I will admittedly say that I am not a veteran of drum corps. I wish I was, but I didn't do that. During that time of my life, I was working to pay for school and really focused on my ministry / music career that took me outside of the band / drum corps world. I do look back and think I at least should have marched 1 year, but I didn't. But I say all that to say that, so my life and my experience is really geared more around marching band at the high school and college level, and drum corps is really just icing on the cake for me. So so we have fun with drum corps, and I watch drum corps and I follow drum corps, and I'm like a very serious, casual observer / commentator, if you will. I guess you could say I'm a commentator now, especially through marching band is awesome. But I have connections. I have lots of friends who are way more passionate and way more, you know, intertwined into the world of drum corps. And so if I ever run into something where I need a little help, need to figure something out, whether it's about drum corps or I was never a drum major, so my best man in my wedding 11 years ago, my college roommate, my best friend, we graduated from the same high school together. He was a drum major. He was a drum major at high school and the college level. And so I always go to him and talk about drum major stuff. And yeah, so anyways, 45 members, really small band, but awesome nonetheless. XZZYZZ, have you ever thought about tutoring high schoolers or being a brass technician? That's a great question. Most folks say, especially when they find out like I'm actually not a band director, they go, wait a minute, you're not a band director? Why are you doing marching band is awesome? Well, here's a few reasons. A, it's a free country and I can do whatever I want to. So Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and whatever, I started marching band is awesome because I love marching band. And I loved it when I was a teenager in high school and a young adult in college. And so yeah, so that's one reason. But the second reason that a lot of people don't know and they don't get to see here in this venue or through my videos or through my little post every now and then here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, is that I went into the ministry in music, and I specifically for the last 20 years have worked with youth groups, but not as a youth pastor per se, but as a it's kind of hard to describe exactly what my job was. Most of the churches that I went to, I was either double duty, so I was either youth pastor / music guy, or I, like this last job that I had for the last 3 or 4 years, I was an associate music guy, but specifically focused on middle and high school kids. So mentoring and coaching and tutoring musicians has actually happened for me for the last 20 years. I'm 40. You probably couldn't tell by this awesome graying manly beard of Odin and Zeus. But I teach guitar, I teach trumpet, I teach piano, I teach bass, I teach drums. So that has actually happened for me. I'm actually a band director. I'm basically a band director, but not in the actual band director position. So I just approach it from a different perspective. And so I just saw that comment. Where did it go? Popped up. Sorry about that. I will try to remember the question over here on YouTube. Says something about, it's a little personal question, but how did I manage to pay for school and work at the same time? Well, the honest truth is that I worked as hard as I could. I commuted back and forth about 70 miles from my hometown to my college, which was Georgia Southern. And I worked several different jobs, but one of the jobs was part-time in church. The church that I kind of grew up in, they hired me to do music, and so that was nice. I worked in the department of music at Georgia Southern a little bit here and there, you know. I was an administrative assistant for the department at one point, for the band department, not for the whole music department. That brought in a little income. I waited tables at a Chinese restaurant on the nights where I wasn't traveling back to do church and ministry stuff. I was waiting tables, and so I just did it. I got a few loans here and there too, and so, you know, student loans work. And then I will say this, I was not the greatest student, so take that with a grain of salt and don't base your life on my experience. I would rather have, I don't even know how to say that. I would have much rather have been out playing my instrument and doing my church jobs than doing school. So I was not a great student, but I did do what I had to do to make things work during that period of my life. So let's take a couple more questions. Let's see. How has band impacted your life? I think I just mentioned that. Chris, as you mentioned ministry, what kind of ministry? I kind of already answered that as well. Definitely music related, and definitely the last 3-4 years has been specifically middle school, high school, and college age students. And what that looks like is lots of group kind of ensemble experience where I work with a band of these aged kids, and then I also do individual lessons and coaching. I do music theory classes, very basic, you know, because at that level I don't want to overwhelm them. Just want to give them something to get them a good springboard into being awesome when it comes to playing, you know, music. But it's been fun. It's been neat. I come from a ministry background. My dad was for as long as I can remember, he has either been a youth pastor, a music pastor, or a senior pastor. And now he's a missionary. Right now, at this very moment, he's in Honduras, working with leaders down there, and then also trying to how to word this correctly, but they support orphanages in Honduras, and so he's down there meeting with and networking and bringing gifts to the kids at the orphanages there in Honduras. So Blind Marcher, please, anytime you want, you can DM me anything about marching band. I love pics. Over here on Instagram, I take submissions all the time. Most weeks we have a weekly theme going. Like this week on Instagram, our weekly theme is Marching Disney. So hashtag Marching Disney. So if you have a picture of your band marching down the streets at Disneyland or Disney World, feel free to DM me for sure. And then any other things like stories, pictures of you and your squad, band director pictures, band bus pictures, full band pictures. That is a good question. Elbow says, what was my first experience with DCI? Like, when did you first hear about it? Well, I don't know how long you've been watching, but as I was saying just a minute ago, my first, I gotta say this quick because I only got a minute and 55 seconds remaining, but my first exposure to drum corps was actually when I was in college. I hadn't even really heard of it And I think probably because I moved around so much during high school. Yeah, I had 4 different high schools. But 2 of my roommates in college, a trumpet player who's now a band director, and like I said earlier, a euphonium low brass guy who is also a band director now and was the drum major at our school, they both marched corps. One marched cadets and one marched Carolina Crown, which is another reason why I don't call them my favorite corps, but I lean a little bit in their direction sometimes because my buddy marched. He's a vet of Carolina Crown. He was the best man in my wedding. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. And so anyways, I'll have to check that out. I got to close down Instagram here, but Music City's Tribe Show sounds pretty sweet. Let's see. Did I answer that? I hope I answered that. So they were marching corps, and I was kind of at home doing work and stuff like that. Ariana says, in the marching bands you were in, were they competing bands or just for the school type band? A little bit of both. We did high school like halftime football stuff, and then we also went to shows as well, invitationals and competitions and festivals. I know they have different words, you know, so for that stuff. But I loved my high school experience, even though it split into 4 different marching bands. Somebody was watching earlier asking about HBCU. I'm going to say this really quick because I only have 20 seconds left. My junior year, the band that I marched was a show style band, and I had a blast. I loved it. But anyways, Instagram marching band is awesome because you're awesome. Anytime, send me pics, whatever, you know, about marching band. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you later. YouTube, I'm still here. And we've been going for about 56 minutes. And for those of you who have hung around, I see I've got about 3 or 4 viewers now. I appreciate it. I know with almost 600 followers that at any given time when we do a live stream, we're probably only going to have a handful of viewers. But my live streams are not super structured, and they're not... you know, so anyways, so I feel like the drum corps videos and in the future, the marching band videos combined with some of these just kind of casual live streams where I actually double stream, so I was talking to Instagram and YouTube. You know, yeah, so it's kind of anything goes, questions. Those of you that have asked questions, I appreciate it. And yeah, so my next video will probably be out. You can actually be thinking about this. If you want to leave a comment, I'll actually work it into my video. I love to do that, especially if your comment's like snarky and ugly and mean. I like to turn it into a video. No, I'm just kidding. But my next video is probably going to be just a fun video about what makes a marching band and what makes a drum corps, and are they the same thing, and what are their differences, and you know, just kind of have fun with it and play around with it as if it's some like major controversy, and see if we can drum up a few, see if we can pull some of the real hardcore folks out of the woodworks and and poke a little fun. So the other video that I'll probably do in the future too, just for that reason, just because you get so many folks that are like, I am right and you are wrong, but is the whole argument, is marching band a sport? It's one of my favorite things to post every now and then on Instagram and Facebook. I like to post it because it gets so much engagement and so much interaction, the positive and the negative, if you will. So we'll make some fun videos like that. But my main video tomorrow probably will just be kind of a recap of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday drum corps shows, and so we'll kind of continue that. Those were great questions. A great comment and a question. Some people get really mad when you mix up marching band and drum corps. I'm not one of those people because I like words and definitions. I'm a real vocabulary grammar guy. I'm actually in a perfect world, I would be a New York Times best-selling author. Of course, it's not a perfect world, and I haven't written a New York Times best-selling book yet. I do have a best-selling Amazon book that is teen young adult fiction about marching band and music history and time travel, and the main character is a trumpet player just like me, and so it's a fun story. But I say all that to say that I like words, and a lot of band people like words too, A lot of musicians like words too. You know, the studies say that when you study music, your vocabulary and your comprehension and your mathematics skills and analytical and critical thinking skills are greatly enhanced, and I agree. I just agree with that. But anyways, I'm rambling now. But I am one of those people who says, and this will come out later in a video too, but I'm one of those people who says that a marching band is a marching band, and a drum corps is a marching band based on the simple definition of words. A drum corps can be a marching band, but a marching band cannot be a drum corps. If you're talking about a drum and bugle corps in the sense that when we look at DCI. Now, the problem with making a very black and white distinction is that think of Bluecoats last year. Think of Bluecoats this year. The drum and bugle corps of old is no longer the drum and bugle corps of old. So we're starting to see euphoniums and French horns and trombones, which is definitely different. You know, the last few years we've been seeing a little bit more and more moving away from the old traditional stuff. So I think basically when you draw the majority of all your participants from the world of marching band, then you're basically just like pro level, elite level marching band. But that being said, I ain't angry. I ain't mad at people who want to think that drum corps, you shouldn't call drum corps marching band. But I like the other comment that said, you know, marching band and drum corps are like just distant cousins. I think if you put an umbrella up and called it marching arts, that they both can sit neatly and nicely under that umbrella. And there doesn't have to be any controversy, so yeah. All right, YouTube, I'm about to dip out of here. It's been 61 minutes, almost 62 minutes. It's been a good stream. I usually do this stream on Wednesdays at around 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time, because my wife takes my two awesome little boys out to go to Starbucks and to play on the playground, and gives me that about an hour and a half of streaming time. And so otherwise I'm making videos at like 2 a.m. in the morning and editing and all that stuff. So I'm trying to find a quiet time with a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, two little boys that love music and love to scream and play video games and wrestle each other and wrestle me. And so I don't get a whole lot of quiet time, which is why I might need to put this in the about part of the YouTube channel, but my regular live stream happens on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So thanks for watching. And I always say this, marching band is awesome because you're awesome. I always say it on all my live streams. This is the first real significant live stream that I've done for YouTube since kind of kicking off the drum corps season about a month and a half ago. So thanks for watching, and thanks for the likes, and have a great day.